se puede, sí 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 se puede. Union power, union power, union power. Who are we? Who are we? Union power, union power.
Buenos días. Mi nombre es Eddie Rodríguez. Yo trabajaba para Taylor Farm en la planta de Valpico y el 31 de octubre fui despedido porque me vio Gar y Omar, el gerente de allá de la planta, repartiendo volantes y teniendo actividad con la Unión. A mí me tocó vivir ahí de todo. Me tocó ver compañeros intimidados por su estatus migratorio. Me tocó ver cómo la gente era despedida sin ninguna causa. Me tocó ver la manera en cómo al momento de que tú reportabas un problema no eras tomado en cuenta. Me tocó ver me tocó vivir en carne propia que el momento de que yo me quejé por una molestia que tenía, simplemente les entró por un oído y les salió por el otro. Y sigo viéndolo, porque todo este tiempo que he estado fuera de Taylor, sigo apoyando a los Teamsters y sigo apoyando a la gente que está ahí, y ellos siguen diciendo que sigue pasando las mismas cosas, inclusive peor. Entonces, yo quisiera pedirles el apoyo a todos ustedes para que hagamos que esta campaña salga adelante y poder hacer que esto cobre fuerza cada vez más. Ellos lo merecen, todos lo merecemos. Gracias.
Hola, ¿cómo están? Sí, el día de Halloween, el 31 de octubre, tuvieron una conferencia los empleados de Slingshot solamente, y estaban preguntando que si habíamos escuchado de la Unión, y yo inocentemente dije, oh, pues sí, he escuchado, y ya después la señora Diana, que contrata a los empleados por Slingshot, me dijo, ¿qué has escuchado de la Unión? Y yo le dije, no, pues que quieren nuestro apoyo. Y eso pasó, y ya después, una semana después, me llamaron y me dijeron que ya no me ocupaba, nada más así una llamada saliendo del trabajo. Y yo nada más, les dije por qué, y dice, oh, porque supuestamente no está haciendo un buen trabajo, pero le dije, ok, porque me había pasado de mantenimiento, y pero antes trabajaba en sanitación. Le dije, ok, pues cambia sanitación porque ahí hacía un buen trabajo. Y le hace, no, pues ahorita hay un freeze, no estamos agarrando gente. Entonces, por eso ya no le pregunté nada más, porque nada más quería sacarme y ya, porque no quería que yo apoyara a la Unión, sino quería que ya me fuera de allí. Y por eso apoyo a la Unión 100%.
Hola, buenos días a todos. Yo, como mis compañeros también, yo trabajé en esta compañía por 4 años. El día que me despidieron, simplemente me dijeron que no tenían razón por despedirme. Simplemente me dijeron, te tenemos que correr porque te tenemos que correr. Ellos sabían que yo apoyaba a la Unión al 100%. Yo soy de la gente que estaba adentro apoyando, diciéndoles que esto nos convenía, que mejores beneficios, que mejores pagas. Y la compañía, pues lo único que está haciendo con toda la gente ahorita es de que la está intimidando, le está diciendo que no tienen voz, que les van a chequear el E-Verify, que va a venir ICE, que no tenemos voz ni voto toda la gente que trabaja por agencias. Les agradezco a todos por haber venido, por estar aquí apoyándonos por esta campaña.
So we know these workers were told today by their boss, do what they say or they will be fired. We're here to say that each one of us was told the same thing one day. But the question is whether or not we want to fight for better wage. We want to fight for health care for our families. That's the only question we have. And we all together decided one time when we were threatened, we decided that we would stand and fight for better wages and health care for our families. So that's the question we have. We want everyone here to know that there is a law in America that is signed by the President of the United States that says every worker, whether you were born here or whether you just arrived, that every worker in America has a right to stand up and organize and say, I want better wages for my family.
I strongly believe that Taylor Farms can afford to treat their employees with respect. This is not a mom and pop shop here. This is not a small business. We're talking about a company that last year alone estimated a revenue of $1.8 billion. Yeah, with a B, 1.8 billion.
And they can't share the wealth.
And we know something about them too. They supply produce to some of the largest companies in the world, like Walmart and McDonald's. Now, I know Bruce Taylor likes to refer to his employees as family. That's what he says. We're family here. But has he treated you guys like family?
No.
As you try to stand up for yourselves? I don't think so, not from what I'm hearing. What kind of family reportedly fires, suspends, and harasses their family members and spies on their family members, trying to organize themselves, trying to create a union for themselves? What kind of family uses the word immigration status as a tool against workers, as a tool to intimidate their very own workers? What kind of family values are those? I don't think that's very much a family-oriented mindset. I know that this has not been an easy struggle for any of you. Any time that people stand up and fight for what's right, and fight for dignity, and fight for fairness, you're usually faced by greed, and that greed has a lot of power to intimidate workers, to have workers forced to wear t-shirts that they don't believe in with messages that they don't believe in, and to hire the attorneys that mobilize these workers and scare these workers. So I've heard of the reports that the employer has engaged in intimidation and harassment, and I'm most troubled about the reports that Taylor Farm has used on immigration status as a threat to silence the workers. And unfortunately, as we all know, many of you who have been fighting this fight throughout the state, that these tactics are nothing new. In fact, my committee held a hearing this last March, and we heard from workers from all different industries in California, and these workers came and they shared with us about the experience that they're facing by workers, by employers who don't want to pay them their fair wages, who like to intimidate them based on their immigration status. And unfortunately, these tactics come right out of the anti-union playbook that so many employers follow, and unfortunately, Mr. Taylor is following them himself here. We have seen employers target workers, especially Latino workers, and use fear about immigration status as their hammer against workers who stand up for themselves. And as a Latino elected official, son of immigrants, I can't help but think that there's a little bit of racism in all of that. Some would probably argue a lot of bit of racism there. We introduced Assembly Bill 263 this year, and which prohibits employers from doing what's going on behind those walls. Yes, that's right. And I'll tell you, retaliation against workers such as yourselves, and for exercising and protecting your rights, I could not have... As the author of Assembly Bill 263, I could not have moved this legislation forward without the heavy support and push and fight of Teamsters. That's how we got it to the governor's desk, and the governor has signed it. And in 12 days, the things that are happening here will be considered against the law. January 1st, 2014. Thank you.
We have to make sure that we send a message strong, that we're here for the long fight. This is just the beginning, brothers and sisters. The Teamsters are here. Our union brothers and sisters are here from other unions. Our local and statewide politicians are here. Our allies are here. And we are here together to send a message strong that we're not going to tolerate injustice. We're not going to tolerate humiliation, intimidation, and this campaign of fear.
Se siente, la unión está presente. Se ve, se siente, la unión está presente. Se ve, se siente, la unión está presente. Se ve, se siente, la unión está presente.